Welcome back to 5 Minute Games. We're giving you an Age of Empires 2 game in the time it takes you to eat your snack. And Nomad is back in the map pool, and immediately we have Vil fighting. I am in teal, playing as the Japanese, and my opponent is in red. I gave him the good luck, have fun, and immediately the Vil fight comes. I tried a quick wall there. I don't know what it was going to accomplish, and immediately I'm like, why, dude, why? And I bring the Doc Vil back to complete the town center. I'm able to quick wall him in time so that I don't have to worry about my opponent. And my opponent built his TC here, but he didn't actually have anyone working on it. The key here that I'm going to go over in 5 minutes is how to kind of come back from a Vil fight. A lot of people would just say resign, restart, it's not worth it. But I wanted to see if I could beat someone after a Vil fight, because at my level, people who are Vil fighting are probably people who aren't very familiar or comfortable with Nomad. So I was hoping I'd be able to use my experience to come back, and look at that, my TC is up first. Next is just to get production rolling. So you can see here, I drop in the blacksmith and realizing, oh wait, I have enough wood for the market, but I don't have the prerequisite building of the mill. So I go ahead and queue up some fire ships to go track his dock. I scouted with a sheep around the sides of the map to find where his dock location was, so I could send the fire ship immediately there. So I go all out onto stone, because I know I'm probably going to have to make a counter castle or try to castle drop him if he doesn't protect his base. Unfortunately for me, it's going to be very difficult in this space to drop that castle, to try to take out that tower and take down his TC, especially with the tower there. So I'm probably just going to have to build a defensive tower somewhere, and I'm going to try to find where the castle's coming up, build some outposts to see if he's going to drop it on the stone or on the gold or somewhere else. And as you expect, the castle goes up and goes back down immediately. We both delete our castles. We're like, we'll find better spots. So he has a very nice spot right here between our town centers, and I just immediately evacuate. And I'm like, you know what, if you're going to castle there, I wanted to castle there, but it's not a great spot. I'm going to castle here. It's on your gold. And he goes for the Vil fight. So his plan was to go Monk Siege. He hasn't committed too much, and I don't think Monk Siege is great on Nomad, just because you're going to end up having castles you're going to run into. It doesn't have enough mobility to get around these wood lines. And boom, he's off gold, and he's trying to make 2 TCs in the same area. His siege is no longer useful in that regard. I'm building a tower here. Don't get the quick walls up. It's really awkward. But that's kind of the messy game that Nomad gives you. So now it's just like a regular game of Nomad, which is still not especially regular, but I have water control still. These Japanese fish are incredible. I probably need to redistribute them out onto the deep fish, and I have one town center new here, and after doing some scouting, I'll be able to drop another one here. And so I kill my opponent's market with the mangonels, and he goes for rams. And my reaction time on this is a little bit messy. This is pretty bad micro on my regard, but I'm feeling very comfortable in this position. I'm probably paying more attention to my macro back at home. You'll see pro players who can deal with this both at the same time, but that's not quite me. So I'm able to pick off a bit of rams, and I have more mangonels in the area. Some of my rams go down as well. And then just using the castle to supplement my military production. And you can see I was floating some stone, so if that's the case on Nomad, it's a very easy solution. Keep dropping castles. And that's exactly what I do. Again, mess up the quick walls, don't quite get it off, but I have a few samurai here to help, and his monks aren't really active because he actually converted units. He needs to keep clicking the units, and he calls the GG. So to quickly recap, I just played standard with my TC, try to get up to castle age as soon as possible. Made a mistake with not having the mill in time, so I couldn't blacksmith market, so my fast castle was delayed. However, I used that time to make the fire ships to take water control, and just try to figure out where I could take map control, eventually falling back to this section of the map. This castle was very helpful to attack my opponent's TC, pack his gold, and kind of reduce his activity through this choke point between the wood lines. And then I was doing somewhat of a wall on the side here to try to prevent mangonel pressure into here. At least I would see it before it hit my wood line. What my opponent could have done better is fight for water a bit more. He kind of just went half-assed at a few strategies that weren't the most effective, like the monk siege push and then the castle drop. He could have continued the castle drops onto my new TCs as well, and I think that would have been a little bit better than trying to go 3 TC into boom. That's kind of the sign that my opponent's probably more of a Arabia player, or plays on different maps where you don't have as much aggression as you do on Nomad.